Classifying angles means that we are going to put angles under certain categories and then use those categories in order to solve problems. First, let's make sure we have a solid understanding of what an angle is. It is formed by two rays with a common endpoint. You'll remember from the previous lesson that a ray has one endpoint and extends endlessly in the other direction. So you can see two rays pieced together, ray BA and ray BC, pieced together right here. That's their common endpoint. They're sharing it and it's extending out. That common endpoint is called the vertex, and you'll also see vertex used in two-dimensional figures such as triangles when you're looking at the top point of it, or in three-dimensional figures such as a pyramid or a cone looking at that very top point. Here are four categories that angles will fall into. First, a right angle. It is exactly 90 degrees. When you're looking at a drawing, you know it's a right angle because of this little box in the corner. An acute angle is greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. Some people like to think of it as a cute little angle, like a cute little puppy. It's smaller than 90 degrees. A way that you can test this is you almost always have a right angle around you in the corner of your paper or the corner of a notebook or a regular textbook or something, and you can put it up against that angle and see is it larger or is it smaller than that corner of that piece of paper. An obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180. 90 degrees would fall right there, and so anything over in this portion is going to be 180 degrees. And then a straight angle is exactly 180 degrees. It looks like a straight line. You're taking two rays, putting them together so that they make a line, and we call that a straight angle. In class, we're going to be working with protractors. That's the tool that you use to measure angles and to draw angles, and we will practice drawing each of these kinds of angles. And I'll also give you angles and you'll practice measuring them. Here's a couple of relationships that you'll see between angles. If I put two of them side by side and the sum of their angles, meaning I add the measure of their angles, it equals 90 degrees, it makes a right angle, then we call those complementary angles. For supplementary angles, the sum of their angles is 180 degrees. It makes a straight angle. So two angles like 140 degrees and 40 degrees, you add those together because it's the sum, you get 180 degrees. There's lots of different ways to remember these, to tell these apart. You might recall those from our vocabulary discussions. Complement comes before supplement in the alphabet, so it's the smaller of the pairs. That's a popular way to remember it. Here's a situation for you. Angles R and V, so this is meaning we're using one capital letter to represent each angle. They are supplementary. If the measure of angle R is 67 degrees, what is the measure of angle V? So start by setting it up. The measure of angle R plus the measure of angle V is 180 degrees, and that's because we know that they are supplementary angles. Then you can substitute in 67 plus the measure of angle V equals 180 because we substituted the piece of the puzzle that we were given in the problem. Now it's an equation that I can solve. The variable, the part that I don't know, is the measure of angle V. So we undo what's happening to the variable. It's being added to, so we subtract 67 on both sides. It cancels here, so measure of angle V comes down, and 180 minus 67 is 113 degrees. Go ahead and pause the video so you can practice these, and then resume it when you're ready to check your work. For practice A, it is acute because it is smaller than 90 degrees. For B, that is a right angle. I know that because of the tiny box in the corner of the angle. C is an obtuse angle because it is greater than 90 but less than 180 degrees. And on D, find the measure of angle X. Since these two angles are side by side, they form a line. They are supplementary angles. So I know that the measure of angle X plus 134 degrees is going to equal 180 degrees. Then it's an equation I'm going to solve. I'm going to undo adding by subtracting 134 on both sides so that X equals 46 degrees.